Alright guys, so today is a beautiful Sunday morning. Since we already rode the bike last Friday, I'm off to Moto World Green Hills because it's their 10/10 sale, and I want to check out knee pads. The T7 hasn't been washed yet from the previous mudfest we had. What I did is I just hosed it down inside the garage at ayun, yung putek all the way there to the neighbor. Sorry neighbor. I guess this will be also a good opportunity to do some formal vlogging. The topic that I'd like to talk to you about today is some reasons why you may not want the T7. If you've been researching on the T7 all over the internet and YouTube, there's a lot of reviews, a lot of raves, a lot of people saying a lot of good stuff about the T7. We're not really going to talk about the bad stuff, but we're going to talk about what are the characteristics of this bike that may not suit you, your riding style, your personality, your mindset, your mentality, your psychology of being a big bike owner in the Philippines. Alright? I hope nobody will get triggered with some of my opinions or comments on why this bike may not be the best bike for you. We're gonna address the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen, the seat height. I guess the reason why the T7 hasn't been selling like pancakes here in the Philippines is because of the seat height. A lot of people really like how the T7 looks, and then when they visit it in the showroom and sit on it, medyo deal breaker yung height for them. First reason you may not want to have this bike is if you're the kind of rider or big bike owner that is used to flat footing his bike, his or her bike, especially during traffic, stoplights, getting in and out of parking spots, waddling the bike. If you're that kind of owner who is more confident that he can feel the ground with his 2 feet while stationary, this bike may not be for you. To give you context, I'm 5'8", here at a stoplight. I have the balls of my feet both touching the ground, but I did do some lowering options on this bike. I lowered the front forks to 20mm. It comes out lowered 10mm from the dealer. Shave the seat, shave this to about 0.5 to 0.75 of an inch, then I was good. But there are some arguments over the internet that you don't really need to flat foot your bike. There are 2 T7 owners in the Philippines that are, one is 5'6". He fully lowered his bike. So aside from the lowered seat, aside from the lowered forks, he purchased a lowering link, which in total dropped the bike to around 2 inches. Probably. I'm not sure. And then another rider is 5'7". Not really sure. I think the only lowering option he did was lower the front forks. Not sure about the seat. And those guys actually take the T7 off-road. So just imagine if you're having a hard time, you know, managing through traffic and waddling your bike. Just imagine how difficult it would be on loose pavement, on loose gravel. No, if you want it that bad, it's something you can live with. It's something you can get used to. We have riding buddies who are 5'10", 5'11". Those guys can't even flat foot the T7. So if you want to flat foot the T7, I think you gotta be above 6 feet. But then again, like I said, it's something you can live with. So second reason you may not want the T7 is if you've owned previous bikes, and if you're a rider that gives a premium to creature comforts, if you're a rider that gives a premium to the features of a certain bike, like electronics package, like a TFT dash, Bluetooth connectivity with your phone and whatnot, if you're that kind of guy that likes the fancy stuff, well, the T7 doesn't have anything for you except ABS. You know, for the adventure market, there's a lot of bikes that have traction control, leaning ABS sensors, riding modes, different riding modes. There are a lot of middleweight adventure bikes that have those features. The T7 doesn't have none of those. I mean, just look at this dash. It looks like a scientific calculator, and you only just got 3 buttons to deal with. So if you're that kind of person that looks at the features first, this bike may not be for you. Another example would be the seat. I mean, there are a lot more adventure bikes that have more comfortable seats than this, because this one is a narrow seat. But surprisingly, even if it's narrow, the cushioning is, I like the cushioning on this bike. Even if I had it shaved, I already had it shaved half an inch. Heck, this bike is, the seat is more comfortable than my XSR 900. So there. If you're looking for a good electronics package with packed with lots of features, I mean, T7 may not be the bike for you. Third reason you may not want this bike is if you're a rider, or if your mindset in riding big bikes is about speed, the T7 doesn't have speed. Yes, it has an engine of an XSR 700 or an MT07, but I believe the gearing or the sprockets are different from the MT07. It's I think this is geared to more low-end torque and pull. It does have that signature jumpy CP2 characteristic, but if you're gonna go to the expressway and you know, you're gonna plan to smoke other middleweight bikes, other 600 and 700 cc bikes, you won't be able to do that. I mean, it's still a fast bike, man. It'll still run at 200 kilometers per hour, but you know, you won't be smoking or racing on any other 600cc or 700cc bikes with the T7. This bike isn't built for that kind of purpose. No, it gives you a different thrill, not the thrill of speed, but the thrill of adventure. There you go. Oh, the reason why you want to get an adventure bike is you want to get an adventure bike is you want to go touring with it, go on long rides with it. I mean, there are more road capable and more comfier bikes for touring than the T7. You got the V-Strom, you got the Versys. Those adventure bikes are more road biased than off-road biased, therefore giving you more comfort, less fatigue, on touring rides. I'm not saying you can't take the T7 on touring, but I think those would be the most suitable bikes for your need. I mean, but if you really like how the T7 looks, by all means use it for touring. I mean, I can't question you if you really like how the bike looks. Do whatever you want with it. What I'm saying is, there might be a better bike suited for your needs, for your touring needs and comfort needs. So before I get to the next reason you may not want the T7, let's just wait on Toots. Okay, just wait for him for a while, then I'll get back to you guys on our way to Moto World. Kaya, thank you. Alright guys, so Toots is here and we are off to Moto Market. Look at that bike, pogi. Ay, kanan ba? Okay. So he's riding a Triumph Scrambler 900, picking off where we left a while ago. One reason you may not want this bike, or this bike may not be for you, is if you don't have if you won't have any plans of going off-road. Don't get me wrong, if you don't have any plans of taking the bike off-road, it doesn't mean that you don't have the right to buy it, man. If you have the money and you like how the bike looks, go ahead. This is probably the only Japanese middleweight adventure bike really meant for off-roading. There might be others who might say na, oh, I own a 4x4 SUV and I don't take it off-road, so what are you talking about? That's a bit taken out of context. We buy an SUV or a car for utilitarian purposes. As for a big bike, it's more of a luxurious hobby, quote-unquote luxurious hobby. Since we're gonna approach that statement, my statement, from a lifestyle or hobby standpoint, if you won't take the T7 off-road, you might not enjoy the bike that much. I mean, you're still gonna enjoy it on twisties because it handles like a dream. It's not bad for commuting as well, but you won't be able to unleash the full potential of what the bike was built for. Ha? Gasgas ng wala na yan, men. Gasgas na yan, no? Oo, tong handlebar, tong kaliwat kanan. Effective to. Kaya nga gulat nga ako, pati ito umaabot eh. Oh, ayan, may gasgas oh. So yeah, before I was really interrupted by my friend over there. Just kidding. What was I saying? Yeah, if you don't really have, if you don't have plans of taking the bike off-road, you may not be able to unleash the bike's full potential and you really experience it for what it is and for what it's built for. We're not gonna throw shade on T7 owners who don't take their bikes off-roading. Sa akin lang, as a hobby, you want to get the most out of your hobby, right? Don't go all crazy on me, guys, kasi when I first bought the T7, all I wanted to do with it was go on long rides comfortably. have a more ergonomic position on the bike. And if ever I do come across off-road paths, at least I know the bike can handle it. Kumbaga, pag may off-road, pag nandyan, pag baha, pag may pagkakataon, I know na hindi ako bibiguin ng bike. But I really didn't have, I won't go going out on rides and looking for off-road rides. Hindi ko gagawin yon, yung tipong makapag-ride nga ngayon, saan ba okay mag-off-road ngayon? No. I didn't have that kind of mindset with the T7. Yung tipong, it's like a gun. It's nice to have it when you need it, but you won't really pull it out, diba? Parang ganon. By the way, I do not have a gun. Something that you may need, but you won't really go out looking for reasons or instances to use it. Parang ganon. But my whole mindset shifted when I saw these group of T7 owners who take their bikes on adventure riding, off-roading. And when I say off-roading, guys, it's not the hardcore motocross enduro stuff that you see, wild stuff, yung fast-paced, crazy shiz. It's just those off ADV riding routes, like back roads, barangay back roads, fire trails, a bit of, shallow river crossings, a bit of, small rocks, loose gravel, a bit of mud. Nothing really crazy, because I know I don't have the skill set for that. But when I saw these group of T7 owners who actually take their T7's ADV riding, and I saw the nice places they've been to, and parang naisip ko, if they can do it, why can't I? Maybe it's something I could learn to love and enjoy. But when I did take the bike off-roading, man, it was a whole different animal. The T7, even if you're a newbie off-road or ADV rider, it inspires so much confidence in you. Granted that you know the basics of off-road riding, I give the bike more credit than my skill. Whenever I get through a tough or technical off-road section, I mean, parang 50% the bike and 50% me, since I'm not that much of a skilled rider. Even if you don't plan on taking the T7 off-road, you might be compelled to, because if you don't, the bike might get kind of old real fast. Kasi like I said, it's not a fast bike. You don't have features, you don't have the fancy features. It looks badass, but riding it, di mo naman siya pwedeng tingnan habang sinasakyan mo siya eh. But the experience of not taking it off-road might get old and baka magsawa ka, But then again, it's your bike, do whatever you want with it. I'm not looking down on other bike owners who don't take their T7s off-road. It's their call. It's just that my whole concept of riding, enjoyment, thrill, the love for it, man, nag-iba nung I took this bike off-road. Parang whew, ang sarap magmotor. And a testament to that is the mileage I have on the bike. It's reaching 6,000 now, and 6 months ko palang pag-aari itong bike. So that's how I love taking this bike out. Alright, init! Okay guys, we're here at Moto World. Wala namang pila. So we'll see. Akala ko nga magra-ride kayo ngayon.
Wala talaga sa plano ko yung ride niya.
Ngayong mga panahon to? Dahil sa COVID?
Hindi, parang tinatamad.
Talaga? Bakit? Baka kasi kailangan mo na mag-off-road kaya ka tinatamad. You're searching for something more meaningful. Ayun na. So ayan ang technique dyan, guys. Yun yung quirks ng Tenere pag nabilad siya na matagal sa araw.
Kailangan tatanggalin mo yan. Kailangan mo yan.
Oo. Nangyari na to dati.
Ba't tinatanggal?
Ewan ko. Tapos pag tinanggal mo, tss, gaganon. Yes sir. Yun lang ang quirk ng Tenere. Pag nabilad siya sa araw ng ganon, may kakaroon ng gas dito, tapos nahirapan siya mag-start. Kailangan mo i-release yung pressure by opening up the fuel cap. Alright guys, we're here at my garage and we'll be continuing this video over here because I ran out of batteries on my way home. So the last and final point I would have on why you may not want to get the Tenere, or why the Tenere may not be suited for you, your personality, your lifestyle, your riding style, is that if you're an anal kind of person, in short, in Tagalog, kung maselan ka, if you're gonna come from the notion that you're gonna take the bike off-road, hindi ka pwedeng maselan. It's a looker, it's a good-looking bike, but it's not a boutique bike. It's not a trophy bike. I mean, this bike was meant to be ridden. It's meant to look dirty. I mean, it even looks better when it's muddy and dusty, just like this. Scratched slider. My muffler is already scratched over here from dropping. There's a dimple over there. Scratches on the side mirrors. Madami ng gasgas to, guys. Kaya nga hindi ko inuhugasan to kasi once the bike is all clean and shiny, you'll notice all the scratches. You have to expect every time you take the bike ADV riding, you gotta have a mindset that you're bound to drop it. Like here in the Tenere, what I like about it, pang baragan siya. Hindi siya high maintenance, hindi siya alagain, kumbaga. Since I talked about what the bike isn't really good for, or if what the bike isn't, and why you may not want the bike, it's already an indirect review of the good points of the bike. But again, don't take my word for it. Those are just my opinions. It's better if you find out for yourself if it's valid or not. It's really rare that you'd see a used T7 for sale out in the market. Probably because the owners really like the bike, whether or not it's a commuter, it's a tourer, it's an ADV bike. It's just a testament of how versatile and how good the bike is, you know. Perfect talaga siya para sa akin. So there you go, guys. I hope you like this episode, and just go ahead and try to sit on it in your nearest showroom and tell me what you think. Alright guys, see you then.